The first thing I remember isn't the heat of his skin. It's the sound, the faint hum of the fridge behind me, the slow, steady tick of the clock on the wall. Ordinary noises, suddenly deafening in the narrow hallway off the laundry room. Then his hand, large, rough, gripping the back of my thigh so hard I gasped, the air snagging in my throat. The world tilted. And before I could even decide what this was, his body pressed into mine, slow, but unrelenting. I bit my lip, hard, tasting the faint tang of blood, desperate to keep the sound from escaping my mouth. Because if I let a single sound slip, it would make this real. And if this became real, I would never be able to take it back. A door to the kitchen was half open. I could see the slice of light spilling across the linoleum, and I knew anyone could walk past, anyone could see. The hum of the fridge, the ticking of that clock, they were no longer background noise. They were a countdown. I braced one hand against the cold metal of the washer, grounding myself as my knees threatened to give out. His breath hit the side of my neck, hot, uneven, breaking with each slow push forward. "I can't slow down," he whispered. His voice was hoarse. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. The thick weight of him pressed deeper, stretching me further than I was ready for. My body was trembling, caught between the urge to pull away and the terrifying truth that I didn't want to. I bit my lip harder, eyes clamping shut, fighting the heat blooming low in my belly. The guilt wound itself around every breath I took. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not to me. Not ever. He didn't speak again. He didn't need to. Every movement was an answer I didn't want, yet couldn't turn away from. The sound of fabric shifting, my pulse pounding in my ears. It all blurred into something I couldn't name. The hallway felt smaller, the air heavier. I could barely breathe, and not because I was scared, but because I was starting to forget why I should be. It was wrong. Every part of this was wrong. But in that moment, I didn't care. And maybe that was the most dangerous thing of all. My hand slid down the washer, my palm damp with sweat, and I realized the clock wasn't ticking anymore. Or maybe I just couldn't hear it over the sound of my own heartbeat. His hand moved slower now, almost teasing, like he knew I was caught between two cliffs with no way back. My chest rose and fell too fast, the sound of my breathing filling the tiny space between us. I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks, not from shame, but from wanting, from the terrifying realization that I wanted more. Outside, a car door slammed shut. The sound jolted through me like ice water. My stomach dropped because I knew who it was. He froze, his eyes locking on mine. And for the first time that night, I saw fear in them. Real fear. I wanted to speak, to explain, but my throat was dry, and all I could do was watch as the moment hung between us. Fragile and breaking. Then the footsteps came, slow, heavy, deliberate. Each one crushing the fragile silence into shards. The door creaked open, light spilled in, and the reality hit us both like a tidal wave. My husband's eyes scanned the room, landing on the man beside me, and then finally on me. The silence was deafening. Not a single word, only the heavy weight of everything unspoken. He said my name, flat, heavy, final, like it was the last word he would ever say to me. I opened my mouth, but no sound came out, because nothing could undo what had already been done. The man beside me didn't move. He didn't explain. He simply stared, daring me to tell the truth. My husband's eyes flicked between us, searching for a lie, some thread to hold on to, but there was none. And in that moment, I realized I didn't want to lie anymore. I didn't want to pretend. The lie had been eating me alive for months, and now the truth was all that was left. He spoke, voice low and raw. How long? Not why, not how, just how long. I whispered months, and I saw the air leave his chest, as if the words had knocked the breath from him. He didn't yell. He didn't scream. He just looked at me like the world had cracked beneath his feet. I thought I knew you. His voice was barely a whisper, but it cut deeper than any scream ever could. The thing is, he did know me, just not this version. The one who'd let temptation inside and never shut the door. That night was long. No shouting, no slamming doors. Just silence. Hours of silence, broken only by the questions he already knew the answers to. Where did you go? When was it? Did you ever love me? With every answer, something inside him shrank, folding in on itself, piece by piece. When the clock hit 3 a.m., he said it. I can't look at you right now. He went to the bedroom and shut the door. And for the first time, I was truly alone with what I'd done. The hours after felt endless. Every sound was loud, the clock ticking, the distant hum of the street, the creak of the bed as he shifted. I wanted to knock on the door, to explain, to beg, but all I had left was silence. Sleep never came. My mind replayed every moment on loop, every look, every text, every just this once. And every time the voice in my head warned me, you will lose everything. By the second night, the house felt like a museum, silent, cold, full of memories gathering dust. We moved around each other without touching or speaking. Our eyes met only by accident, and it felt like looking at strangers. On the third night, I heard him on the phone, his voice low, fragmented. No, I can't stay here forever. I don't know if I want to fix it. She made her choice. That sentence cut deeper than any fight. Because he was right. I'd made my choice. And now, he was making his. By the end of the week, his wedding ring was gone. And by the end of the month, so was mine. 2 years passed before I saw him again. It wasn't planned. I was leaving a cafe when I spotted him across the street. Same walk, same posture, but different somehow. He didn't see me at first. For a moment, I thought about slipping away, but then he looked up. Our eyes locked. There was no anger in his face, no bitterness, just distance, like I was a page from a book he'd read long ago and didn't want to open again. He crossed the street slowly, every step a drumbeat in my chest. "Hi," I managed to say. "Hi," he replied, polite, empty. We made small talk. He told me he'd moved to a new place, a smaller apartment, closer to work. He mentioned someone, a woman, without giving details. I didn't ask. I didn't have the right. Just as we were about to part ways, he said something I'll never forget. "I hope you're doing better now. I really do, but I don't think I ever want to know you again." It wasn't cruel. It wasn't meant to hurt. It was simply final. And as I watched him walk away, for the second and last time, I realized the truth. That night in the kitchen hadn't just ended our marriage. It had erased the version of me he once loved. And there was no getting her back.